Hi friends, and welcome to the Brick House Bones Foundation series. This is my program for beginners, for people who are newly diagnosed or people who are unsure exactly how to start exercising to help themselves become stronger, resilient, and fracture-proof. So here we're going to cover the basics. We're going to cover the specific moves that the evidence tells us can make a difference for your posture, for your balance, for your strength, and for reducing your risk for falls and fractures. I want you to complete this program and feel confident that you are doing the right things for your body and that you can keep doing the activities you love with the people you love, knowing that you're doing the right things. So welcome and thank you for joining me. This is going to be a 6-video series, 4 videos that are specific for targeting the exercises you need and how to progress them. 1 bonus video that talks about how to move smarter and safer and modify activities so you're not putting yourself at risk. And another bonus video that covers mobility and stretching, how to stretch safely in a body that's been diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis. So really important that you watch all 6 in the series, this beginner series, and this will help launch you into the other programs and the rest of the videos that are available on my channel and on my website to support you as you grow in confidence and strength through this journey. Don't diminish this because it's free. This is the program that all other osteoporosis experts sell. They sell it, but I want to offer it for free. This is a high value content, and I think everyone worldwide should have access to this quality information. So in my mission to help more than 1 million people worldwide, I'm keeping this content free. Now, it helps me if you watch the ad, let it run. That supports my time in producing this content. Or you can simply like it, share it with your friends, and especially share it with your physician so that they know that this information is available. All right, thanks for joining me. Here's what you're going to need to do this program. So today on week 1, or part 1, we'll call this, of the series. Part 1, we're going to use a chair, and then we're going to use a mat. I'm going to be on the floor for the very end of it. Now, you don't have to be on the floor. You can do this from your bed. So I know for some people it's difficult to get on and off the floor. Do what works best for you. We do a lot of floor-based or bed-based exercises for osteoporosis, and I have clients that do both. They do it on the bed or they do it on the floor. Do what works for you. As we go through the series, in part 2, you'll need a stretchy band. We'll include a link for how to get a stretchy band, but most exercise places that sell exercise equipment do this, and of course the online stores also sell these stretchy bands. I'll include a link below. And then we'll need some small weights if you have them. They may be anywhere between 1 and 5 pound weights. If you have them, will be helpful in the 3rd and 4th part of this video series. If you don't have weights, that's okay. A couple of soup cans, a couple of water bottles, you can modify for this very beginner entry into strength training. They don't need to be heavy to start. So that's what we'll be starting with. A chair today, weights and rubber bands for future videos. So I'm warning you now so that you have time to get those. Now, I want to ask you to do something that you don't have to share, but I want you to take a photo. I want you to take a photo of yourself from the side standing and a photo of yourself from the front standing. So a way for you to kind of look at your posture and your position. And I want you to take that photo again at the end of the program and compare. You don't need to share it with me or anybody else, but you get to see if there's been a change, because many of my clients will see an increase in their height after doing these types of exercise. That's the other thing that you should do, is measure your height. So start tomorrow morning, measure your height in one location with bare feet, and measure it the same time of day and the same situation in the same location at the end of the program, and see if that's changed. And we'll also take a measurement of your single leg balance during this first part of the exercise series, and we're going to do a test for how many times you can get up from a chair in 30 seconds. So you'll get to reassess your progress at the end and see if it's changed. Isn't that nice to get that feedback? So we'll all be starting together. We'll take a little bit of a pause here so that you can get what you need and get set up. And I'm going to sit up, and we'll start sitting in the chair for part 1 of the Brick House Bones Foundations. Okay, so we're starting in a seated position, and we're going to start with learning perch posture. And so this is a foundations course. We need to get the little things right. So we're going to go over good posture positions. We're going to go over squatting, hinging, pushing, pulling. So we're going to go over a lot of the basic movements as well as how to address hip stability and strength and protect our hips, and how to protect our spine, and how to protect us from falling. So first thing is perch posture. So sitting on the edge of your chair, generally people will sit kind of slouched like I am. So the first thing I do is say to pull your feet underneath you so they're underneath your knees, and then we tilt the pelvis forward, and then we lift the heart up. And now we're perched on the edge of our seat. So this is our starting position for this first exercise. Perch posture. Okay, so from here we're going to go into a posture exercise called the W. And it's called the W because of the shape that your arms make. So we're sitting up in our perch posture, reach our hands straight out, and then we're going to bring our hands back. Notice the palms are straight forward, the elbows are down, and we lift the heart as we squeeze the wings together in the back. And then we reach back out and then squeeze our W arms. See the shape of my arms? This is W arms. So we're not here and we're not here. Wrists are on top of elbows, squeezing the wings, and release back out. There's 2, 3, taking our time, maintaining our good sitting position. 4, 5, 6, we're going to do 2 more. 7, 8. Great. So this is our first introduction into beginning to address the muscles that help our posture. So this move helps stretch and lengthen the muscles in the front of the body that can pull us forward. And it's beginning to strengthen the postural muscles in the back that help hold our new improved position. And the muscles along our spine, if we target strengthening to them, we have studies to show us that that can help prevent vertebral fractures. So that's why we address this, and we're starting from the very beginning with this foundations program on how you can address that. So next exercise is adding to this postural lengthen and strengthen strategy here. We'll take up the left arm, reach overhead, reaching for the ceiling, but I'm not putting my shoulder in my ear, right? Shoulder stays down. This is just a reach and relax. We're staying up tall. Reach, trying to get the thumb as far behind me as I can. And relax. Notice I let the elbow bend as the arms come down. Reach and relax. Reach. Good, good, good. Working on posture. Good. Last one. Great. So that was 3 per side or 6 total to begin to work on that tall posture and that good reach. Now, next up, we're going to do a test. So this is be our baseline test on a 30-second sit to stand. And what will be interesting to see is after you work on this program and complete it, how does this change at the end for you? I would love to know that. So if you're willing to put your first score down in the comments below, no pressure, but if you're willing to, put your score for this test down below. And then when you finish the series, after the 6 videos, you can note there as well if it improved for you. So I have a timer for 30 seconds. You are sitting in perch posture in your chair. And for 30 seconds, when I say go, with your arms folded across your chest, you're going to stand up and down as many times as you can in 30 seconds. I'll tell you when to stop. Now, if you need assistance getting up from your chair by using your hands, you may do that. That's only if you can't do it without using your hands. You just note that. So if your score is 5, note 5 repetitions, used arms to get up. And that might change to 5 repetitions, no hands needed by the end of the program. But that's how we assess progress. So get in position, arms folded if you can, hinge forward, stand up as many times as possible in 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. You move at your pace, not mine. Count your reps. You have to count your reps. Good job, everybody. This is a great measure of your baseline strength in your legs. And we do have some standard scores of what we expect people in different age groups to be able to do. And I expect everyone to be at the above average phase for best quality. Stop. Okay. Take a minute. Write down your score so that you know what it is. If you want to leave it in a comment at the end of the video, that's great. That's great feedback for everyone to see. And then we can see your progress at the end of the video and see how you do. So catch your breath a second here. We're coming up to a standing position. Getting a drink if you need to, catch your breath. So next thing I want to talk about is your foot position. So when we do balance exercises and different things, it's important that we feel our feet. And you can do balance exercises shoes off or shoes on. I like to train both ways. That way I'm training for real life, because sometimes I'm walking around barefoot, sometimes I walk around in shoes, and I need to have good balance in both situations. So I train both ways. I also have a neuroma on one foot, so I generally feel better with cushion or padding under my feet. So you'll often see me in shoes. So let's start with standing. Feet are hip width apart. So that's 2 fists width at the most between your feet. So at the most, it's that far apart. You want to feel your foot tripod. What is your foot tripod? Well, it's your big toe knuckle, the base of your big toe. It's the base of your little toe and your heel. So those 2 points by the big toe and the little toe and the heel, that's your foot tripod, and that is your stable foot position. So you shouldn't feel all the weight on the front 2 points, nor should you feel all the weight on the heel. It should be balanced between those 3 points. That's your foot tripod. And then when we talk about posture standing, we want to think about rolling the hands open, rolling the shoulders back, and opening the heart. So that tall posture. And we don't reach up with our chin up, we reach up with a long neck, with the crown of the head pulling forward as if there's a balloon lifting our head straight up to the sky. So this is that tall posture that we're going for. Now, we don't necessarily maintain that in general, but just to take a minute to see what that feels like, to have that open posture, that open chest, those palms forward, the wings squeezing in the back, and that long neck. This is mountain pose or mountain position. So that's just a nice way to work on that standing posture. Now here's a wonderful shoulder stretch for you. This one's money. I do it all the time. It helps me in my posture, and I think it just feels amazing. So with your hands on the back of your chair, stepping back as you see, and then with soft knees, they don't have to be straight, knees can be soft, sink down between your shoulders. So notice how my back flattens in this position. This is really help opening up the spine and decompressing the spine. It's helping to stretch any tightness in the shoulders that may be contributing to your posture being more rounded. We have to address the shoulders to help fix the posture. So we come up and then we step back out again, walking back, reaching the tailbone back, sinking down between the arms, taking a breath or two here, giving the tissues time to lengthen. Now you may feel it back here. Well, that's just because you're tight there also. So that's not a surprise. This is a good stretch for the back and the hamstrings as well. So we can get more for our effort by addressing both of those things. All right, let's do one more of those. I love this stretch. So anytime you're feeling some discomfort in your middle back, this is a great stretch to go to. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, now we're going to do one more test. So this first part of the video series, it's nice to have these baseline tests to see where you are so you can measure your progress. We're going to do single leg balance. And I want you to count to yourself. You don't need a timer unless you have one close and handy. We're going to just see how long you can stand on one foot. And this is how we'll do it. You'll use your support for your chair. You'll have your feet hip width apart. You're going to shift your weight to one leg, pick up the other foot, and then pick up both hands and count. and you'll count how long you can balance on one leg up to 20 to 30 seconds. If you can hold it for 20 to 30 seconds, then you can stop. So if you want to go all the way to 30, you can. I just don't want to use all that time on our video here. So feet hip width together. You're up nice and tall. Shift your weight over to one foot. Pick up the other foot. Hands in the air. Start counting. Whatever you get to, write that down for that side. Whatever your number is. And if you can't hold it for 1001, then write 0, and we'll see how that improves in your time. Even if you're wobbling, that's okay. You can put that in your notes. There was a lot of wobble or felt very steady. Again, up to 20 to 30 seconds. Write down your score. If you got 30 seconds, very good. If you didn't, then we know we can get better at that. Let's do the other leg. So shift your weight to the other leg. Pick up the foot. Pick up your hands. Start counting. This is your baseline on what you can do standing on one leg up to 30 seconds. Again, take notes. So this is my more stable leg. If I were writing notes, I would say more stable than the other leg. Just to kind of pay attention to how we see those changes occur. Okay. Whatever you got to, write that down. If you want to write it in the comments what your results were, great. We'll retest that at the very end, and we'll get to see how that changed with the work that you're doing. And we know that that helps prevent falls and fractures by having better balance. So does strength. So that's why we measured the 30-second sit to stand. All right, so let's go on to our other exercises for the hips. So we're going to work some ankle exercises and some hip exercises so we can begin to introduce these things that we know make a difference. So first one is going to be some heel raises and toe raises. So straight up, heels up, and then straight up with the toes. What I see people do a mistake with often if they're tight or they're weak is they may go up on their toes okay, but they really lean the hips back to pull the toes up. So just be mindful of trying not to do that as best you're able. So hanging on to your support if you need it. 1, heels up, toes up. 2, the toes up part is difficult, especially if you're tight. 4, so these muscles around our ankle are very important in our ability to recover our balance. 6, so that's why they are included in this. And we tend to lose that over time as we get older if we don't practice this. I think that's 8, 9, 10. Great. Great, great. Now, I know we did our 30-second sit to stand, and that was a time test. We're going for speed. Now we're going to go for more control. So coming back to our sit to stand exercise, and when you repeat this video, you can do the timed version, or you can skip that and just do this controlled version. So we're just working on the exercise of 10 reps of standing up to sitting down. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you want to add weight, you can, but since this is a beginner series, just starting with body weight is a-okay, so you can learn how your body responds to these exercises. So 1, 2, this is important strength. 3, this is functional exercise. 4, 5, this is how we get up from every surface we sit on. 6, cars, toilets, chairs, couches. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So this is so functional. We need the strength for squats for nearly every activity we do. This is how we pick things up safely. This is how we go up and down stairs, how we get on and off any bit of furniture, in and out of bed. It's really a tremendously functional strength exercise to do, and we need to improve our ability to squat, to age successfully and stay independent. Coming back up, we're going to work the hips. So we're going to start with a very, very beginner hip strengthening exercise using the chair as your support. Coming up nice and tall, bracing through the belly, and I'm going to bring my leg out and just slightly back. So notice it's not coming forward, it's not straight to the side, but just slightly back so that we target these muscles here that attach to your femur and femoral neck area. So we're targeting that area. Both hips are working, especially the leg that you're standing on is working just as much, if not more, than the leg you're moving. So this is a very good hip muscle targeting exercise. We're going for 10 on each side here. So up tall, hang on to your support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good job. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. What I want you to know with all of this that we're doing together, you stop whenever you need to stop. Don't push through anything that doesn't feel safe and comfortable for you. You can always just watch before you try something. You are the master of your own body. You know your body and your ability better than anybody else. So proceed with your own best judgment on what is safe and doable for you. Rest whenever you need through any of these sessions. That's absolutely okay. I consider modifying an exercise to be an act of self-care. When you stop and modify something to do it in a version that's safer for you, that's self-care. Your body and your brain and your heart really appreciates when you care for yourself that way. Okay, moving into a slow march. So this is a balance exercise. So this looks like this. Shift your weight to one side, knee up, down, shift to the other side, knee up. This is a slow march. Now, if you can't do this without falling over, then put one hand on something to help support you, but maintain that slow tempo. Okay, we're going for 10 here. No hands if you're able, hands on something if you can. If you really feel your foot coming down quickly, hold on to something. Okay, shift, lift, lower, and come back. This is all about building control while standing on one leg. This is a critical part of your dynamic balance. This is important weight shifting so we can get into that stable position. I think we're on number 5. You'll find that I lose count when I talk, but that's just how it goes. 6, here we are. 7. As you get more confident with this, you will feel much, much better in your balance. 8, 9, 10. That's the speed and tempo that marching should be. And it's important when we talk about balance that it challenge you some. If you're always holding on to make it easy and you don't have a little bit of instability, then we're not making the progress that we need. So having it be a little bit challenging is really good because that's how you will improve. All right, we're going to make our way to the floor, or for you to your bed if you need to, coming down, lying on our back with our knees bent. Now when you're on your back, if you have a bit of a hump in your middle back so that when you lay down, your head really tilts back and your chin comes up, please put something under your head. At least enough of something to bring your chin to neutral when you're laying on your back. So have some support underneath your head and your knees can be bent for this beginning part. Now, to get down onto the floor, let's just talk about this. So if you're using your chair, you can come down onto one knee using that support, and then we come onto our side and then roll onto our back. If you're getting onto your bed, I'll link a video down below about the right way to get in and out of bed to protect your back. It's the way that I do it every single day, and it's the way that we all should do it. That's just the spine-safe technique for getting on and off your back. All right, so if you need a little support under your head, so that you're not reaching up like this. We want to keep the neck in neutral. From this position, we're going to take the palms up and tuck the wings back just a little bit. Good. So this is kind of our beginning position here, and we're going to do our first core exercise. So the first exercise here is just to brace through the middle body. Now, lots of people will ask, well, can I do pelvic tilt? So that's a pelvic tilt. Now, I don't have osteoporosis in my spine. I do have osteopenia in my hips, so I'm very conscious of bone health exercise personally, but I don't have it in my spine. So this would be a pelvic tilt, and we generally don't advise that anymore if somebody has concerns about bone density in their spine, but we bring you to neutral spine. And neutral spine is that position halfway between all the way flat and all the way arched, that sweet spot in the middle that just feels natural and easy and where it's the most comfortable. And then from there, we just brace. And we brace by just kind of forming this hug in this cylinder around our middle body, this gentle hug that's kind of squeezing in and just bracing that position. Doesn't need to be super hard. Just create some tension there. And then from this point, again, we have the palms up. Palms can be down also, that's okay. And we're going to lift one knee, holding tension through the body here, and bring it back down. Lift the other knee and bring it back down. This is a beginner core stabilization exercise. Good. I'm just bracing through the middle body as I lift the leg. And this is the foundation that we want as we begin to do other reaches with our arms and legs in this position. We want to have this core stabilization active first before we begin to do any reaching. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay, you can kind of roll it out a little bit. Take a deep breath. All right. Next up, we're going to begin with alternating leg reaches. So in this same position of neutral spine, bracing, just holding some tension here so our back doesn't get pulled into an arch position. We're going to brace and extend the right leg long, pressing through the heel for length. This is all about length, letting the leg rest on the bed or the mat and return. Brace through the middle body, extend the other leg. Going for length again. How long can that leg be pressing through the heel? Toes are coming back. Good. Repeat. Alternating leg reaches. We often spend so much time sitting that these muscles in the front of our hips become very tight, and they can pull us into a flexed position. They can limit our ability to stand really tall. One more reach on each side. Good. Notice we're taking our time, right? Not rushing. Not rushing. Good. Now we're going to kind of set the pelvis again, set the neutral spine position. You make some comfort here with where our legs are placed. Turn the core on, this stabilization again. I'm rotating the thumbs up, and now we're going to reach with the arms. So reaching, trying to get that thumb as close to the floor as you can, as far back as you can towards the floor. And then we bring it back. Now notice I don't have my shoulder coming up into my ear. I'm keeping the shoulder down as the arm reaches up. Good. Taking a breath after each one, not being in a hurry with our reaching. You may not reach the floor. Don't be surprised. I have many clients that they can't reach in the beginning. We work on that mobility to get better. So this is creating some length through the front, length through the shoulder, helping to stretch those tissues in the front of the body. But because you're also lying on your back, we're getting a big stretch through the thoracic spine and helping to improve your posture there, helping to improve the length in your upper back. Less of a hump or a curve. Good. One more on each side. Good. Good. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do, I call the decompression or unloading position. So if you're reasonably comfortable here on your back, and if you can, extend both legs out so that we have that length through the hips, rotate your palms up and bring them out away from your bodies, and then tuck your wings back just a little bit. Now that you have this very, very open position through the front body, and this can provide this nice long passive stretch to help you become straighter and taller. So starting with this decompression position, I often advise clients to do this, especially if they're already starting to get that hump, to spend 5 to 15 minutes in this position every single day. So 5 to 15 minutes in this decompression, unloading position every day to help create that length and space in your spine. So this is what we're finishing with today, this decompression position. And you can stay there while I come up and continue to talk. So this was part 1 of the foundations course. And congratulations on being here and on looking for ways to help your body be stronger and fracture proof, and how to build confidence and trust back in your body, even if you've already had a fracture. I want to help you try to become fracture proof so you never experience that again. So this is the first part that you should practice at least 4 times before moving on to part 2. So you'll see part 2 come up, but you should have done this one 4 times before you move on to part 2. You can watch part 2 so you know what you're in for, but please practice this 4 times. You can do this 3 or 4 times in 1 week, or you can do it spread out over 2 weeks. Now you will also see the bonus video, the safety video come up, and you can start that at any time. So 4 rounds of part 1 before you start part 2. Add the bonus safety video anytime you want so you learn smarter ways to move and protect yourself. All right, so congratulations, good job. Write your numbers for your single leg balance or your 30-second sit to stand test down below if you're interested in sharing that and tracking that. And we will review those again on the part 6 video where you get to retest and see that that changed. Thank you for joining me. Please hit subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.